you always have to start with wins and losses. Like, win all the games you were supposed to win, and did you win some of the games you weren't supposed to win? Okay, and you don't put a number of what that is. Okay, I don't know what that number is, but I can tell you this. I mean, if you look at it, you won 2 last year. So the fan, well, if you win 4, that's a great improvement. Because you had to beat somebody in the conference, you know, for sure. And then you had to win all your non-conference games. That gets you to 4. Okay, well, as a coach, you can't be thinking like that. I mean, what coach in your right mind would ever be thinking, God, if we could just win 4 games? I mean, then you'd hired the wrong coach. You really did. You hired the wrong guy. Now, I might have illusions of grandeur, okay, but my expectations are way higher than yours are, I can promise you. Because that's what they're supposed to be. That's what they're paying me for. Okay, with that being said, I was really disappointed when I finally went back and watched the games from last year. The number of games that they just got the crap kicked out of them. The number of times that happened. And you want something, you know, that's just, you know, that just doesn't cut it. I understand about talent discrepancies. I got it. One team got a lot more talented guys than the other team. Okay, but to have games get away from you that quickly and by that wide a margin, if I were one of those fans, I would have, you know, left at halftime and not come back myself. I'd like the fans to be there at the end of the game. And the fans are there at the end of the game. It usually means because you're doing things the right way.
It seems like everybody's got to pull out this time of year and grading the Big 12, and most of them have Kansas rated pretty low. Do you have any better idea where Kansas is than they would?
Well, logistically, I can't see anyone why they wouldn't rate us last. I mean, based off of the evidence of what they have right now, all we've done is hire a new coach, hire a new staff, and change the way business is being done to marry the personality of the head coach. And we brought in 27 new players. 23 went out the door, so there's been a big changeover of personnel, but the jury's still out. I mean, you're going to have to go out and prove it. That's what's going to have to happen. We're going to have to go out and prove it. And I can just tell you this, and the guys who were at Media Day, I'm sure, felt the same thing. When we went into Media Day, I think that, I don't know if we caught them off guard or what. Okay, but I can tell you by the end of Media Day, we were not being treated like we weren't one of the big boys. You know, we were getting treated like everyone else. Our players definitely felt respected. They didn't feel shunned. And there were some comments by some of the other teams that I'm standing behind the Texas players, for example. First of all, the Texas players complained that they were showing up because we were dressed up and they weren't. So they already had gotten outdressed, clearly got outdressed. But then one of the Texas players turns to the other guy and goes, "That's the quarterback?" You know, who's trimmed down from 237 to 233, but I mean, he looks like a linebacker. But I mean, that's the quarterback? Because you look at some of these other big-name quarterbacks and you see him, I mean, he looks like what they're supposed to be looking like. Now, he hasn't played it down yet either, but I'm just saying you could feel from the media that, well, we might have to review these guys over again. We might have to, you know, we might have to take another peek. Now, of course, there's always going to be the cynics that, you know, say, well, they're still going to be no good. But that's why you play the game, right? I very much tonight. I'll tell them to be on time. I'll tell them to be on time, do what they're supposed to do. I'll tell them, you know, we have a long laundry list of things. I'll basically tell them it's time to quit talking. And that's me too. So you have me now, you don't have me for a while. You know, it's time to quit talking and start, you know, let's go to work.